Attention viewer, you are watching the world's biggest monster truck diecast YouTube channel. This is Monster Jam OCT.
Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another Monster Jam OCT review video. Today we are taking a look at this brand new Fire and Ice 5-pack by Spin Master and Monster Jam. Now this was originally set to be released on Black Friday. This was far before COVID-19 was a reality, so I'm not sure if the Black Friday promotional item idea is still in effect. This could just end up in stores as a normal item in November, but the original plan was for this to drop as a Black Friday promotional item, which would be about, I believe, $10 for 5 of these trucks. So it was obviously a discounted, specialized item tailored for Black Friday. However, with COVID-19, I seriously doubt there will be small amounts, if any, Black Friday shopping taking place this year. So we can all hope that these do reach store shelves at the original intended smaller price point, but they could end up being a full price item. I would assume would probably be about $20 or so. So that's also kind of reasonable. I mean, it's a 5-pack. Not only does it feature accurate Team Fire and Team Ice vehicles, but it also features this exclusive, incredibly beautiful split paint job Fire and Ice Gravedigger. So here is the pack itself. It has already been found in Australia. You can see the packaging is designed half fire, half ice, with Gravedigger being the divide in the middle of these two elements. You can see there's the Fire and Ice logo. We have Megalodon Fire, Zombie Fire, Fire and Ice Gravedigger, Dragon Ice, and El Toro Loco Ice. On the side, we have El Toro Loco Ice. On the back, we have all of the vehicles. And on this side, we have the Megalodon Fire. And then on top, we have the design for the Fire and the Ice. And then on the bottom, I don't think there's anything special. So I'm going to quickly unbox these trucks, and I will be right back to show you guys all of them up close in detail. And before I move into the review, I just want to show you guys real quick the packaging without the trucks inside, so you can see the ice and the fire in the background. And also check out the Fire and Ice Gravedigger logo. Pretty awesome. So now on to the actual trucks. And here they are out of the packaging. We have all 5 trucks. Again, like I mentioned, these are supposed to be tour accurate editions of these trucks. The first most accurate edition being this truck right here, which is the Fire Zombie. We have seen this before in the double pack against, I believe it was actually Ice El Toro Loco before they put it with the Max D Fire for that promotional pack. So we have had Zombie Fire. We've actually had all of these except for the split paint job Gravedigger before. But as you can see, the difference is they put it on a normal chassis, but it's not a Monster Jam based chassis. It's actually Paul Strong's Zombie. So Paul Strong is an independent monster truck driver, and usually his chassis colors are black and black rims. So you can see when they ran that zombie body on his chassis, this is what it looked like. So they actually did his edition instead of going with the standard red rims that the Monster Jam truck, or as we call them, the Feld chassis, use. So you can see it as Paul Strong's chassis, and there's actually a couple updates to Zombie. The first being the hair is a little more detailed than previous models have had. So you can see they were black hair before. It is now a detailed hair style there. And also they took off the negative space bar on the back. I'm not sure why that is. I actually like it with it on there. Kind of helps balance out the back there, but you can see it is blank now. And other than that, there is a little bit more clarity with the decals. It's hard to tell, but in person you can probably tell that there's a little more clarity. The roof is definitely brighter. The brain is much brighter as the real life truck looked. So it's nice to see those improvements being made. And the sides here, a little clearer, a little more actually lined up properly. Mine's a little bit of a tampo slide on this side. And the back is the same. And this side also the same, but a little clearer. So it's nice to see Paul Strong Zombie being made into accurate form. Also, the windshield is gray instead of the red for the Fire and Ice chassis. And you can see they have removed that Fire chassis for this edition. So this is actually a popular request by collectors. The older collectors, I'd say, were a little upset with how Fire and Ice and Zombie and Hunters are being done with the same chassis over and over again. They are usually swapping theirs onto more accurate chassis like this. So it's likely that most people have already done this. But again, if you're going to get this pack, you're probably just getting it for this anyway. But they are making the accurate version. I like that they made Paul Strong Zombie as well. So there is the Paul Strong Zombie Fire, the first one up. And next up is not Corey Rummel's Megalodon, but this is the, as again I mentioned before, the Feld chassis edition of the Megalodon Fire. So basically what I mean by that is it's the standard Monster Jam chassis without any specialized rims, because the independent teams usually have different colored rims. And Corey Rummel actually ran Megalodon Fire on the Rage chassis for the season that it ran in. So you can see it's not that color. If it was the Rage chassis, it would be silver and silver, but this is Monster Jam with their black roll cage style and the red rims. So there it is, the Megalodon Fire. I don't think the body has any updates to it, just a little bit clearer than the other release had. If I show you guys that, here it is. It's very hard to tell, but there's a little bit of clarity to the Fire decals. So there is the Megalodon Fire. Also, the nostrils have received fire coming out of them in the front here. So that's a little bit of an update to the front of the Megalodon. So that was originally not there, which is nice to see. I thought that was new when I first saw it, so that's cool. So it is now a new variation of the body, and the windshield is changed out for the gray. And again, like I mentioned, the chassis is the Monster Jam standard chassis. Actually, I believe when it was first displayed at the kickoff show, this is the chassis it was on with the red rims. Technically, the real-life truck had red beadlocks, but they didn't do beadlocks. They did full rims for these. So there's Megalodon Fire. Very awesome. And we also have the Dragon Ice, which is coming back again with this standard Monster Jam chassis with blue rims. So it's no longer the Ice chassis. So here it is, the Dragon. And again, the clarity on this one, I have a little bit of monster dirt, sorry about that. The clarity on this one is also drastically improved. The brightness of the colors also, you might notice, is a little bit more vibrant. The white color underneath the decal is much brighter. The one thing I wish they would have done is made these horns solid white like the real truck instead of the clear that they already have done before, because they're Toro accurate. So it's unfortunate that they didn't do that, but they did change the windshield out for the blue one to the gray. And again, the clarity of the decals has drastically improved. Might be hard to tell on camera, but it has in person. And the clear coat is a little bit more glossy than the previous one. And there's the switch on the chassis as well. Just nice to see it come back again with the accurate chassis. It actually looks much nicer because it was a real life edition truck. So there is the Dragon Ice for this pack. And the last one before the split paint job we have is the El Toro Loco. And there's a couple things I wish they would have done with this. One being they add the chin hairs with the ice, and the second being they add the eyebrows. And a couple more updates they really needed to do with this truck. The real truck used a little bit different of a wrap job. I'm not sure what happened to the toy version, but it's actually not accurate. Not terrible, but it's not super accurate to the real truck how it looked. I wish they would have gone back and fixed it in this release. But you can see the graphics also being a little more crisp here. We also have a much better paint color. It's a darker paint color, and you can tell that the graphics quality on the hood there is much better. So if you guys are questioning if it's clear or not, it is definitely clear. And actually, it looks like they did fix a little bit. The eyebrows have that icicle effect to them, the cracking effect, I should say. So thank you for listening to that feedback. He did fix that. I didn't notice that. So at least they did get an update there. The clear flames on the hood as well. The one thing I wish they would have done would be the airbrushed details on the chin hairs, but that's okay. And it has a gray windshield. And then the back here has El Toro Loco, much clearer, better wrap. And then monsterjam.com with a clear tampo, so you can see monsterjam.com very well. And then they have removed the negative space bar off of the truck. So there it is. And again, the normal chassis, black with the gray and the blue rims. So that's very awesome. They did fix it on the front there. Looks much nicer. But overall, El Toro Loco is not my favorite of the Fire and Ice fleet. And now we're on to the main, basically the main feature of the pack, which is the split paint job Fire and Ice Gravedigger. As you guys know, the Fire Gravedigger debuted at the World Finals 20 Encore, and then it did compete at the Monster Jam All-Star Challenge. I was there. It's one of my favorite paint schemes to come to real life ever, and it's just a beautiful scheme. But also at the All-Star Challenge, they debuted the Ice Gravedigger. This has to be probably my favorite scheme for Gravedigger in real life that I've actually seen in person. So this was awesome to see as well. Kristen Anderson got to drive this there. The one thing about these trucks is actually before the full flame wrap era or technology was perfected, these existed without it. They did get the curvature done, but they didn't get the full flame wrap. So this is the only Gravedigger Fire and Ice edition to receive the full flame wrap, which I mean is this yellow and white around the headlight socket. So there is that, and there are those two trucks compared to it. And now on to the review of this truck. As you can see, this side is painted black with the Team Fire decals. So we have a little bit clearer decals on this truck this time. Of course, it also has no door on this side. It's the more modern model. So there's Gravedigger Fire. And then you can see its flame pattern there on the hood with the full flame wrap for the first time, which looks really, really nice. And then on this side, we have Team Ice Gravedigger with the side door, because this is the driver's side. And then we have that paint scheme. And then we have its flame wrap. And a funny little note here, it's to make this continuity work out. The original paint scheme for Ice Gravedigger, also in real life, it did not have this little flame above the headlight. So you can see on that artwork, it did not have it. But they did add it on to this one because it would look weird if this one was there and that one wasn't. Also, I think in Steel Titans, the video game, they do have this on the truck. So they did add it in afterwards onto this model, not this one though. And as you can see, the split down the middle is met with this kind of fire and ice line. So they didn't just do a direct split decal. They did have to split it up a bit because the artwork wouldn't line up. But you can see there's like an icicle effect and a kind of a red line effect. And then there's the gray windshield. And then the roof here, which is just my favorite part of the truck. As you can see, it splits down the middle of the logo with the fire on one side, the ice on the other, and the awesome illustration of Neil Vandenberg, the grim ice and the grim fire split down the middle, and of course, bad to the bone. And then also, props to Spin Master for always doing this. They don't use decals to make split paint job. They actually use two paint colors. So you can see one side is the classic navy blue paint and one side is the black paint. So they did go ahead and make it an actual split paint job with two paint colors instead of decal wrap. So that is awesome, perfectly lined up as well. And that is the split paint job, Fire and Ice Gravedigger. Possibly one of the best Gravediggers they've released so far. And you can see one side has red rims and the other side has blue. So that will conclude this review video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I want to hear your guys' opinions on this truck and the others in this pack. I think it's awesome that they went ahead and made tour accurate editions of some of these trucks for the collectors who maybe didn't want to swap their originals, but I definitely enjoy the fact that they went and made this split paint job. This is probably my favorite Gravedigger so far. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. This is Ryan or Monster OCD signing out.